Hey, my name's Brent and I'm back here to show you some more activities. This is sort of like a lab as well that you can do for a science standard. And let's take a look at the standard here. The standard is S5L3. It says students will diagram and label parts of the various cells, plant, animal, single-celled, multi-celled, and we're focusing on B. Identify parts of the plant cell, there's the parts, and of an animal cell, and we're going to determine the function of the parts. So the standard we're hitting, we want our students to be able to locate all the organelles in a plant and animal cell, and then for the students to understand what each organelle does, their function. Okay, materials you're going to need for my activity. Round paper plate, square paper plate, different colored Play-Doh, puff balls, and maybe some pipe cleaners. Now this is just different supplies for the students, if you haven't guessed yet, to make their own animal or plant cell. For example, you may want them to make you a key, and so give your students all these supplies, and don't give them too much supplies, because I think this really helps the creative aspect for the students to have to do critical thinking of how to use just this limited amount of supplies to make all those different organelles. So they may roll up a ball and say, that's my nucleus, and they'd put it on their key. This is my nucleus. The yellow ball is my nucleus. Maybe for ribosomes, they may take some of these little puff balls and put them, around in the cell for ribosomes. And then maybe for the Golgi apparatus, they may take the pipe cleaner and fold it up, because we all know the Golgi apparatus has many folds in it. And they may fold it up and kind of shape it in a way that it sort of looks like the Golgi apparatus. And they can use these limited supplies to make all the organelles. They may even take, like the Play-Doh here, like I'm about to show you, press it flat, and then take their pencil and make designs in the Play-Doh to make it look maybe like mitochondria, or in the plant cell it might be for the chloroplast. They might make them little, circles that stacked on top of one another that does photosynthesis. And so I think this is a very good activity, mostly for the creative thinking. And all of this supplies here that I've showed you, the pipe cleaners, the puff balls, Play-Doh, you can always get this at Walmart or Hobby Lobby stores. But it is important to have at least one round plate for them and one square plate. Obviously, because plant cells are square, animal cells are round. Now these plates, I got them from Walmart. But another idea is to go over to the meat department, maybe at Kroger or Ingles, and see if they'll donate you some of those white square plates that they put ground beef in and wrap the silicone around it. And so those are square. Those would make good plant cells as well. Now this is, like I said, the creative aspect of it, and this will probably last 2 days. One day let them make the animal cell, one day let them make the plant cell. Because I also have some supplementary technology games to go with this. And so that's the supplies you're going to need for the creative aspect of it. Let's move on over here to the games. And, well, it's not all games. It's also a matching game, and then it has a quiz. Now, this website here, Shepherd Software Cell Games. This is a very good website. And I'll include this link in the when I upload this video. So let's go to Animal Cell first. Let's go to Game and Quiz. Okay, first I'm going to go to the game. And I absolutely love these games. They're wonderful. Alright, let's go through them. Nucleus. We'll take our nucleus, drag it over here till it lights up this little white line that points to the nucleus. And then just drop it. And if it's right, it'll stay there and light it up. Alright, let's take the ER. And that is what is around the nucleus, and we'll drop it there, and it's lit up. Plasma membrane. Let's bring it over here, because it is the outer shell. There it is. Golgi apparatus. That is our organelle with the many folds, and we'll drop it there. It's lit up. Mitochondria. We'll drop it there. Ribosomes is our little protein dots. It lights them up. Lysosomes and peroxisomes, that's what kills the cell and kills bad waste in it. Drop it there. And then cytoplasm is obviously just the juice that's all in the cell. And there you go. and it comes up and it tells you how you did. You made no mistakes. Now it will, if they do make a mistake, it'll tell them how many they made. But when they drop it, if it's not right, it just brings it back over to this side and won't let them drop it in that place. Now, as you see here, we also have a quiz. And I really like this because now that they know the location of all the organelles, this allows them to understand the function of the organelles. Alright, let's take a look at this. First question. These organelles produce a molecule called ATP, which serves as fuel for the cell. That would be mitochondria. So, we'll click on mitochondria. It tells us great. Go to the next one. This network of folds is dotted with ribosomes, which make proteins. It ships these proteins to the cell membrane or other organelles. Well, that would be RER. Tells us great. And there's about 10 different questions on there. It covers all of the different organelles, and so they'll know all the function of all the organelles. Now let's go back here and take a look at the plant cell. Alright. Now the plant cell also has a game, just like the animal cell, where you can take and match up stuff like the nucleus, which is right there, and the chloroplast, which are these little things right here that make photosynthesis. Now, once again, you'll have the ability to match all of this, all of the organelles to the correct position. But the plant cell actually doesn't have a quiz. But that is really not that big of a deal, because if you look at the plant cell, there's very few subtle differences between the plant cell and the animal cell. The only difference is you have a big central vacuole in the middle, right here, and you can explain what that is. And you also have these little organelles. It looks like they have little round cylinders in them. But what these are called chloroplasts, and that's what does photosynthesis in the plant cells. And plant cells also have a cell wall, which is a hard cell wall that doesn't, bend and move like a animal cell does. So there's very subtle differences between the plant and animal cell, and you can explain this to your kids. So if they take the quiz on the animal cell, they'll learn most of the organelles right there, and you can explain these last couple of organelles to your students very simply. And so I want to go back here, and as you'll notice, there's also a bacterial cell. And that was not part of the standard, but I think this is good for your students that need enrichment. Let them discover all the different organelles of a bacteria cell. And if they don't know them, tell them to use the internet, use their textbook, use any kind of resource they need to discover what the different organelles are in a bacteria cell. So I think that's good for your enrichment students. So like I said, I'll include that website when I submit this video. And so between the two types of like cells making them with the plates and the game with the quiz, I think this will be very sufficient for students to be able to locate all the different organelles and to be able to understand their function. And so I believe with this, over a 2-day period, you can completely cover that standard. So thank you for watching, and I hope this helps you teach plant and animal cells with their organelles and what their functions are.